What's going on, everyone? It is your good buddy Elite here, and if you don't know, Amourday came up recently, and I thought I'd do a little video to celebrate. To celebrate, me and the rest of the plebs decided to do a top 5 video of our favorite Amour moments. What we did is we counted up the most times a moment came up in our list, and what place it was in, and then we would put that in a list for the whole group. And everyone decided I should commentate over it, apparently. So this is also going to have a lot of personal opinions of all of us. I just thought I'd let you all know. So anyways, let's get started. Alright, our number 5 pick is the ribbon from XY59 and 60. We decided to include both of these episodes just so, to show how it could have played out. So as you know, Ash gave Serena a ribbon in episode 59 after being really helpful with him in the same episode. It was a decent moment for what it was, but we put it on here for how they played it out. Next episode was, as you know, Serena's first performance, and she started out really well, but then that came to an end when Fennekin tripped. After that, Serena had seemed to be fine to everyone, but that changed with the scene directly afterwards when she starts crying. And she says she's going to change herself and decides to cut her hair. Later, she reappears in front of everyone to redesign. And Ash points out that she was wearing the blue ribbon he gave her. And this is where it comes up. What places this at number 5? Well, for starters, I think we all enjoyed how it was added to the redesign and not forgotten like some other stuff in the anime. If it was just put in the background and only brought up for that one thing and never again, probably would not have been here. I know it's not mentioned much after this, but that's why we included these 2 episodes, to show how it was able to be played out and worked in to every episode and sort of means something. They used this ribbon towards something little like that, whereas other things were used for comedy and not brought up again. I mean, ribbon was, used to build somewhat of a connection between the two, and I think we all thought it worked well. And also, a little thing, what we also loved about it is how they did a really weird thing with it throughout the series. If you'll ever notice that whenever Ash is in danger, she always seems to clutch the ribbon. Maybe I'm looking too deep in it, but I don't think animators would include that for no reason. Now, I could go on and on about these 2 episodes, but we had that saved hopefully for another video in the future. This is why the blue ribbon is number 5 on our list. Also, I'm pretty sure this is the first time Ash gave someone else a gift, or at least one of the girls. Usually it's the other way around. Alright, coming in at number 4 is the cosplay episode. If you didn't think that this was going to be here, then you're as dense as iron. Eh? But we're counting the full episode here on this one, since this one is jam-packed with moments. That's why we included it. Now, the episode itself, I'll admit, was not very spectacular in a way, if you look at the plot and everything, but it's what happened in the episode that made it up here. It honestly felt like one of the writers found someone's fanfic and wrote an episode on it. And if that's the case, then writers, can you maybe read mine? Or maybe Someguys? Just a little thought. This might get a little difficult to explain, but I'm gonna try my best. So the episode in the beginning is just Ash training, doing his thing. Then later, Team Rocket meets Jimmy with the best Pikachu gifts as his partner. Then it goes back to the main group. Ash wakes up and not feeling good. Then the big moment that everyone was so hyped for was when Ash found Serena. Now, if they literally had just done that with him passing out, I would have said it was bait and just not important. But it was a scene that was just really hilarious, with everyone having no idea what was going on and what was said. For those that don't get what was said what happened in the scene, it's actually a play on words in Japan. Iron Tail is actually pronounced Iron Teru or something along those lines. Sorry to any Japanese viewers who are watching this. But the beginning of it, I, is also translated to another Japanese word that means love, and that word can also be used in a phrase called aishiteru. I think it's pronounced that way, but it's basically the Japanese way of saying I love you, isn't it? And I feel like if you watch the episode, you'd actually get it. But the scene just went really, really well, and it didn't exactly stop there. The episode that, continued with Serena taking care of Ash, I think that was the second time she had done that in the series. So that was nice. But I think a lot of our love for this episode was when we got to the main focus when Serena wore Ash's clothes. One thing that not only is this like extremely hilarious, but it also made for a ton and a ton of fan art, which I think we all can appreciate. Yay. Another thing we love to see is with Serena battling with Pikachu. I don't know if you noticed, but throughout the series, Serena and Pikachu grow a really close bond. But I don't think anyone pointed it out until this episode, where they actually can work really well together. What we also love is how she was able to combine the strategies Ash used with Pikachu to actually help her in battle. I think we all love that moment, and I think that's what made it worthy of the title Serena becomes Satoshi, and that's why it's number 4 on our list. Where exactly did she change her clothes, though? She couldn't have gotten out of the tent. And I swear to God, if some guy edits in some hentai photoshops of this scene, I am not paying him. Alright, the third option is actually a pretty interesting one. It was originally tied with the fourth option in our placing, but we chose this one to be number 3 instead because of the impact it made. As you probably guessed it, number 3 is the flashback, which you might have seen coming. This was the scene that basically started the whole thing. So what happens is, as you know, Serena hurts herself and finds Ash. He helps her up and back to camp. Now, and that's pretty much. I myself was not around, or if anything, I was not around much to see what happened, but from what the other guys have told me, this thing drove the internet crazy. I mean, I kind of myself did feel my heart stop after this scene myself. I mean, the hug was extremely adorable. But there was things everywhere from what I've heard. There were theories popping up, there's fan fictions getting written like crazy, shipping wars, everything. It was just insane from what I've heard. That alone gives it a good placement in the top 5 because of how the community was able to react to it, and in many different ways. Other than that, it was a very adorable scene that was also played extremely well, and what we liked is how it more or less set the tone for how it more played out, or might have played out. I say might have because unfortunately they didn't really build this up as I thought they would, or as many others did. It kind of felt incomplete, if you get what I'm saying, and I think others will get that too. And now I know there's going to be people saying that, it's only how they met, there's stuff that happened in between, use your imagination, and I totally get that, and that's why I enjoy fan fiction and everything. But I feel there should have still been a little bit more than what we got. So, maybe in the future, I doubt it, but maybe. So, while it didn't amount to not much in itself, it set in motion a major change in the community, and pretty much the whole Pokemon community itself, actually. It was a really adorable moment that was really, really well done, and that's why it is number 3 on our list. Alright, coming in at our second favorite moment was the fight scene from XYZ 28. Now, there's a lot of reasons I think that a lot of people love this scene, so why don't we just start from the beginning. So, Ash gets depressed after losing his 8th gym battle, as you probably all know, and walks off into the woods. Serena, of course, goes after him and finds him alone, and this already kind of reminded me of that one episode in Diamond and Pearl where Ash got depressed after his loss with Paul. But what I think I liked about this scene more is how Serena was basically the first one to take the initiative and go and try to help him, whereas I don't know if anyone else or any other girls have done that in the past or at all, or if they'll do it in the future. But I just thought it was really nice, and in fact I think some people would point out that Serena cared for Ash a little more in this because Pikachu didn't go after Ash in this scene, but honestly, I don't know, that's not important right now. Anyways, when she finds him, she's trying to cheer him up and everything, as she does. But then, of course, Ash and her start arguing over stuff. But then Serena then decides, tells him that he needs to cut it out and snap out of it and runs off. Now, what made us like the scene is that almost confession that she made. I think that made us freak out a bit. But the main reason we put it on here was the fact that how it happened and why it happened. A lot of people pointed out, like before and after this episode, actually more after, that they had never had an argument until this. And when the episode aired, you could probably guess that a lot of people were using this scene as an anti-shipping method, so yeah, there was that. But we also put it under here for the conditions it was used for. It wasn't used for comedic purposes like a lot of the other ones. This was the only one, and this one was meant for a purpose for, Ash to get back in gear and do everything he can. And so this one actually felt like it sort of meant something, and it also made it feel a little more realistic, because every healthy relationship has to have arguments at some point, as they say. So yeah, and that is probably why it is number 2 on our list. All right, and our last moment, our number 1 Amourshipping moment is, for those of you that do ship it, this next scene probably won't surprise you. I mean, it's pretty much what sealed the deal for the whole thing, and a lot of people, and including myself, have waited for it since the beginning. I think you all know what I mean. The number 1 scene that we loved is the kiss scene. And yeah, you probably all saw that coming. Might be a little cliche, but let me break it down for you all. The scene starts with, Serena saying goodbye to everyone, then she starts saying goodbye to Ash for the journey. She says that he is her goal, and she's going to become a more attractive woman the next time he sees her, which I'll admit was kind of weird for Pokemon to put that in there, but whatever. Afterwards, she starts going down the escalator, but then she runs right back up and kisses Ash, on the lips, and right there, that drove the internet crazy. And I mean crazy even outside the Pokemon community got insane over that. Some of the anime community actually got pretty, I don't know what to say, probably excited about it. I don't know about you, but I freaked out inside the whole day because I could not freak out anywhere else, because then I would look like a sociopath. But they did it completely out of nowhere, yet it still fit into this episode and made it a good goodbye to her. Not only were the reactions from everyone else hilarious, from Bonnie's, Clement's, Pikachu's, and Dedenna's reactions all feel accurate to their characters, which was really nice. And speaking of reactions, we also liked how Ash had somewhat reacted to it. Like, if you remember in the past, a lot of the other kisses, he didn't exactly seem to react to at all. I think the only ones he did react to was Team Rocket in that one episode, and let's just say he was probably less than pleased with that. And speaking of which, a lot of people also said that, they never kissed because they never showed it, and what I don't think they understand is subtlety, which I loved. It's shot in a way that makes you think they did kiss, but it's shot so that it's up to your imagination to how it happened, or if there's anything else that happened, what happened. And so, again, there's that using the imagination again. So I just thought that was actually a pretty smart move by the writers there. And speaking of which, the writers also really like Easter eggs, because they included that 2 big Easter eggs, and I think they themselves pointed them out. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's the H71 Latias and those baby breath flowers. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can go ahead and look it up. You'll know what I mean. But all in all, this was our favorite moment. It placed the mark on the show's history. It got a huge reaction from everyone, and that is why it is number 1 on our list. Is there any moment that we didn't mention that's in your top 5? Tell us your top 5 in our comments down below. Big thank you to some guy behind the screen for editing all of this in such little time. I will put both of our links to our Twitters down below, and I will also put a link to the PokePlebs main Twitter account down below too. Also, guys, while you're down there, make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay tuned for more videos. And I know this is late, so I just want to say happy late Amourday, guys. Bye.